Hello students, welcome to this online session of Operations Research lecture series. In this particular lecture series, we are going to learn about a method called simplex method. It is one of the solution method to solve the linear programming problems. So what do you mean by simplex method? The method is trying to convert the mathematical model into a tabular form, right? Whatever the equations are of linear programming problem, we convert them into equations, and from equations to tables, right? Now this table we solve with the help of the simplex method. It is kind of an algorithm to solve the linear programming problem, right? Also it reflects, or you can say replicates, the graphical method. In graphical method, what we did, we tried to find out the corner points and we put down these values into the value of the, or you can say the function of the objective function, right? As an objective function, we put those values, and once we get the solution, let's say for example if it is a maximum value, then we got the solution as the points of x1 and x2. In this way, in similar way, we can find the solution with the help of simplex method. Now let's see an example. Let's try to solve an example based on the simplex method. So here the company has 40 labor hours, that is the constraint, and 120 pounds of clay available. Okay, two constraints are there, and company now here bowl and mugs are the decision variable. If you see here, the bowl and mug, number of bowls and number of mugs to be manufactured is the decision variable, right? So x1 and x2 is equal to number of bowls and number of mugs. Now company wants to maximize the profit. Per unit is 40 for bowl and 50 for mug. So maximize z equal to 40 x1 plus 50 x2. That is our objective function. Clear? Now what about constraints? Constraints in terms of labor is 1x1 plus 2x2 should be less than equal to 40, because only 40 labor hours are available weekly. Clear? Next, if you see here, the clay, amount of clay 4x1 plus 3x2 is less than equal to 120. That is, we have written as a form of second constraint. Also the non-negativity constraints are also that the number of bowls and mugs are greater than or equal to 0. So let's try to solve the problem with the help of simplex method. So the first and foremost step in simplex method is to convert these inequalities into equalities with the help of introduction of surplus variables, right? So how do we do that? So we try to balance the equations by introducing s1 and s2, right? Here it was less than equal to sign, we convert them into equalities with the help of this introduction of s1 and s2 variable, right? So what is s1 and s2? Those are the slack variables we introduced, or you can say the amount of unused labor or clay which is going into which is not contributing to the objective function, which is to maximize the profit. Now based on these equations, this two equations and this objective function, we will incorporate them into the table, which is called simplex tabular, right? Now how do we do that? We write down basic variables starting from this Cj, basic variables, and quantity. Quantity is the right hand side of the equations. Clear? And we will also write down what are the variables involved in the simplex equations: x1, x2, s1 and s2, right? So let's put down the values here. So let's say for example the first coefficient was 1, 2, 1 and 0 for the first equation of constraint, and the quantity was 40 in terms of labor, right? Same way in the amount of clay for 120, what are the coefficients? 4, 3, 0 and 1. Clear? Now what are the coefficients in the objective functions? 40, 50, 0, 0. Clear? And this 0 and 0 are nothing but the coefficient of slack variables in the objective function. Now slack variables do not contribute into the objective function. That is why the coefficient is 0 in the objective function. So here we have written down 0 and 0. Here. Now what will be our next step? Next step is to find out the Zj and Cj minus Zj. So let's look into the table so that you can easily understand how do we find out Zj and Cj minus Zj. Now Zj, we multiply this coefficient here, 1 multiply by this Cj, right? So 1 into 0 plus 0 into 4, that is equal to 0 obviously. So here we have written 0. Here again for this column, 2 into 0 plus 3 into 0. We have got 0 here. Obviously here the coefficient are 0, so you are going to get Zj equal to 0 here. Clear? Now what about Cj minus Zj? The coefficients here Cj is 40, 50, 0 and 0. So Cj minus Zj is 40, 50, 0 and 0. So in this way we can find out Zj and Cj minus Zj. In next step we are going to find out the pivot column and pivot row. So how do we do that? First of all, whatever in case of maximization, whatever amount here, if you got Cj minus Zj, which is the maximum one, we will select that as the pivot column. So what is the maximum amount here? 50, right? So 50 we will select as a pivot column. Remember this. Now we will divide quantity with this pivot column here. So 40 divided by 2, 120 divided by 3. So we will get the next pivot row, right? So what is pivot row here? Pivot row is the minimum element which has the ratio of this quantity and the key column. We will see in the next here. If you see 20 we got, and here we got 40, which is nothing but quantity divided by pivot column. What is quantity here? 40 and 120. What is pivot column here? This is the pivot column. So 40 divided by 2 is 20, 120 divided by 3 is 40, right? What is the minimum value here in this Q upon pivot column? This is 20 here, right? So this is our pivot row. This is our pivot column and this is our pivot row. So intersection of pivot column and pivot row is our pivot element, which is 2, right? So what is our next step? We will divide this 2 with the individual element of pivot row to get a new table. Clear? In the next step, we will develop a new table with the help of this formula. What is this formula for the pivot row? The pivot row new values for this new table is equal to old pivot row values upon the pivot number. What is pivot number here? Pivot number is 2. In the old values we will divide one by one and we will get the new table. So how do we do that? Let's look into the previous one. So what is the pivot element here? 2. And this, if you divide here the quantity, 40 divided by 2, it is equal to 20. 1 divided by 2, 1 by 2. 2 divided by 2, it is 1. 1 divided by 2 is 1 by 2 and 0. Right? In this way, we have modified the pivot row elements in the new table. We will prepare a new table for the simplex. It is also known as simplex tableau number 2. Next step, we will find out the second row, which is next to the pivot row. Right? So for that, the formula here is written here, that new table row values is equal to old tableau row values minus the corresponding coefficient in pivot column into corresponding new tableau pivot row value. So how do we do that? I have given you one example here. In the same, you can say the row. If you carefully see here, what is the, here if you see 4, right, the next row, 4, right, 120, where do we get old tableau row value, which is here, 120, here, minus corresponding coefficient in pivot column, that is 3 here. So if you correspond it to column here, that is the pivot column value 3. So here we have written 3 into new tableau pivot row value. Now what is the pivot row value, which is equal to nothing but 20 here. So we will multiply by 20 and we got 60 here. Here. In the same way, we will do for 1 by 1 x1, right? That is this one, 4. That is 4 minus, what is the pivot column here? Pivot column corresponds to 3 here. So we have written 3. Multiply by 1 by 2. Where do we get 1 by 2 here? 1 by 2 we got from the new values here. If you see here, sorry. So this is the 1 by 2 value. Here. So we get the value 5 by 2. Same way for the x2, s1 and s2. Let's see for x2. For x2 here, x2 the value is 3. So we have written 3 here. 3 minus, what is the corresponding pivot column here? That is 3 definitely. So we have written 3 here. Into 1. So what is the corresponding pivot row value? That is 1. So we have written 1 here, which is nothing but 0. So hence in this way, for the next row, this row, we have found out the value of the row elements with the help of this formula. Clear? So we have written down this formula. Now what is the next step? The next step is to find out the Zj and Cj minus Zj. So how do we find out? Zj is nothing but the multiply 1 by 2. Here if you see 1 by 2 into 50. Clear? 1 by 2 into 50, which is nothing but 25, plus 5 by 2 into 0, which is 20. Clear? Same way, 1 into 50 plus 0 into 0, which is 50. 1 by 2 into 50 is 25, plus 0 into 3 by 2 is equal to 25. 50 into 0 plus 1 into 0 is equal to 0. What is Cj minus Zj? 40 minus 25 is 15. 50 minus 50 is equal to 0. 0 minus 25 equal to minus 25, and 0 minus 0 equal to 0. Now, what we will select here? We will select the maximum positive value. If we get the all values as negative in maximization case, we have attained the optimal solution. But here still there are chances of optimization. So, we will select the maximum positive value, which is 15. So, in next step, that is our pivot column. So, what is pivot column? The 15, which is the maximum positive value, is our pivot column. Clear? Now, what is our next step? We try to divide the quantity with the key column. Clear? 20 divided by 1 by 2 is 40. 60 divided by 5 by 2 is equal to 24. So, what is the minimum value here? 24. So, that is our pivot row. So, this is our pivot row. The intersection of pivot column and pivot row is our pivot element, which is 5 by 2. What we will do? We will divide 5 by 2 with each and every pivot row to get our new table row values. So how do we do that? Here, same way for the next row as well, we apply the formula, which is nothing but the new values equal to old row values minus corresponding coefficients of pivot column into new tableau pivot row value. And here we have got the new tableau row value, which is nothing but the second row. If you see here, let me show you. This is our second table, right? You carefully see here: 1, 0, 3 by 5, 2 by 5, 0, 1, 4 by 5, 1 by 5. Let me show you the previous slide so that you can understand. Here in this second row, what we have done, we have divided each and every element with 5 by 2. Clear? But what about this row? For this row, we have to use this formula. The top row, we have to use this formula, and we got this value 8, 0, 1, 0, 1, 4 by 5, minus 1 by 5. So we just put down the values of 4 by 5, 1 by 5, 0, 1 and 8 in the top row. Clear? In this way we have got the final optimal simplex table. Why do we say this is optimal? Let's find out Zj here. 0 multiplied by 50 plus 40 multiplied by 1, which is 40. 1 multiplied by 50 plus 40 multiplied by 0 is 50. 4 by 5 multiplied by 15 plus 40 multiplied by 3 by 5, which is 16. And same way we found out the Zj. Clear? Now what is Cj minus Zj? 40 minus 40, 50 minus 50, 0 minus 16, 0 minus 6. So we got Cj minus Zj here. All the values, if you carefully see, they are less than equal to 0. In maximization case, if we get all the values of Cj minus Zj less than equal to 0, then we have attained the optimal solution. So that is what we have got. So what is the optimal solution here? If you see the last table here, x1 corresponds to the quantity 24 and x2 corresponds to the quantity 8, and z, that is our objective function, we got for 1360. So that is our final answer. x1, which is the bowls the company has to manufacture, is coming out to be 24, and x2, the mugs, company has to manufacture 8. Right? And the objective function to maximize the profit, the maximum profit the company can attain is $1,360. So let's summarize the simplex method. First of all, what we did, we tried to convert the problem into a standard form, right, with the introduction of slack variables, or you can say the surplus variables, right. Based on the standard form, what we did, we converted the constraints. By the way, we converted the constraint inequalities into equations and converted them to standard form, right, and used the standard form equations into tableau, forming the tableau. Clear? By forming the tableau, what we did, we tried to find out the pivot column and pivot row by finding out Cj minus Zj. Clear? Now, what we did was, if all the values, if you see here, in the next step, for the new row values, for the new table, we found out the new row values as well as the corresponding row values for the next row. So with the help of this formula. Clear? First of all, the first formula for the pivot row and the second one was for the one which are not the pivot rows. Clear? So we have revised the new table as well based on these formulas, and we try to find out Cj minus Zj. Right? If Cj minus Zj according to the maximization problem, if it is less than equal to 0, then we have attained the optimal solution. But if it is not, then we have to iterate it further and we have to repeat the process. Clear? Here it is written the same. If a positive value exists, return to step 3 and repeat the simplex steps. So in this way we can easily solve the problem of linear programming with the help of simplex method. Thank you.